Is there money to be made in coffee? Today we're talking to Joel Rivers. Joel has a coffee shop in a terrible location, but he's made a success of it anyway. In this episode we're going to learn how he did it. He's going to tell us if there's any money to be made in coffee and what's next for this budding entrepreneur, all things coffee. We like Joel, and this is another episode you definitely won't want to miss. I'm James Martin, and this is Entrepreneur Conversations. Joel.
Hello.
Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you very much for having me.
You're not a million miles to get here, by the way.
Yeah, no, not too bad.
Joel has one of our units on the estate. You do coffee roasting.
Coffee roasting at Barrow Park, indeed.
So this is aside from the shop. So let's go to coffee roasting first,
of course.
Because all my staff and the other tenants here, we love it when you fire that machine up because it is just the best smell.
Oh, it's brilliant, isn't it? And it's a great smell. It's a roasty smell, but it's not necessarily the coffee smell, is it?
No, it's not. No,
it's like completely different. But it's still great, you know. We roast. You can almost see it from here, can't you? The unit.
Right. So he didn't have to travel far to get here today.
No, not at all.
Now you supply us at Barrow Park House with coffee. And you've helped my team get the right equipment and do training. You've done training with them again today. So you really are your whole world is coffee, isn't it?
Pretty much, yeah. It's a long-standing obsession, fascination of mine is coffee, sort of, and that goes everything along that spectrum. You know, it's harvested after it's been grown, obviously. Then you've got a process where the fruit is removed from the coffee bean, which is a seed. I find that fascinating. Then you've got it being sold on the market, it being exported, imported, and then roasted by us, and then brewed by us as well. And I find
it's a long journey for that
very
bean,
much
isn't
so,
there, before it actually gets into our cup of chow, if you like.
Yeah.
The whole thing with the shop. I bumped into your shop. Would I be right, about 3 years ago?
Yeah, I reckon so.
You were there. You were about 3 years ago, and you're in a funny part of the town because you're right next to there's a big area, but the road kind of got cut off, didn't it? It got blocked off, but it's still quite a bit of through traffic there. But your whole thing, we were talking in the pre-chat, is you're more on a community sort of demographic for your customer base, aren't you? Yeah,
I would 100%. It's I'd say 90% of the people that come through the door every day, we know by name. Yeah. We know their order. We know what's going on in their lives, if you like. It makes for a strange environment sometimes because obviously you don't necessarily have that boundary that you get from the customer to the server, but it's 100% what makes the business what it is and what makes it such a good time. I was talking to one of the staff earlier about that exact thing actually, and she was saying, we've been to help customers set up coffee machines at their houses, which has potential to be a very awkward and very strange experience, but because we know them that well, it wasn't at all.
No, and I've had a couple of cups of coffee. If I'm your way, I will whiz in and grab a cup of coffee from it because it is a smiley face, happy thing. Mm-hmm. I want to promote local companies. I want to put pennies into entrepreneurs that are local to where we are here at Chelmsford in Essex in the UK. But more than anything, the big boys, it kind of it's become blurry.
Yes.
But you go in and it's bing bang bosh. It's loads of sugar. When every time I look at coffee, it's just like all these things they're doing, all these different not brands, but different
flavors
and stuff. You're right, Joel. It's just all full of sugar and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I like a good black coffee, a tall black coffee, or I'd like a flat white with flat.
Yeah,
and I keep getting frothy flat
made
white.
properly.
What's
right?
that all about?
It's a strange one actually. The business model of it in my opinion, the business model for the kind of chains is they'll use a cheaper coffee, unroasted coffee. They'll roast it really dark to a point where it's really bitter,
right? And
then you need to add a flavour or a syrup to make it nice.
Okay, to disguise
it, and then obviously maybe they'll charge £1, £1.50 for that syrup, and then your cup is all of a sudden £6, and but it's sweet and nice. And
but you are preying on addiction.
yes, absolutely.
You kind of are, aren't you?
Yeah.
Because I watched an interview with the coffee guy that ended up owning Starbucks.
Yeah.
I can't think of his name. He was on a podcast with the guys from Acquired.
Right. Okay.
And they actually did a face-to-face interview with him and stuff like that. And he said he knew very quickly that it was an addictive thing, and he could capitalise on that.
Yeah.
So with your one shop at the moment, but people, it's in a habit forming, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just maybe that's why we see the same faces. You know, I can't go the morning without a cup of coffee. It's legitimate physical symptoms if you do, sort of headaches and all sorts, which isn't great. I mean, I'd say I went to university, and just about the only thing I do now that has any relevance to a psychology degree is drinking too much caffeine, which is a bad thing. Yeah. But you know.
Well, don't say it too loud, because we've got plenty of customers to go and get their fix at your shop. What is the shop called?
It's called Driink with two I's, Driink Coffee Club.
Okay.
The two I's come from the tattoo shop that used to be next door, which was called Immortalink. And our name used to have their logo in the middle. Okay, so that's where the two I's came from.
And they're sort of co-founders with you, and they're partners in the business.
Yeah,
and they kind of got you going with you as well. Didn't
they did the initial kind of the opening of the shop. Yeah, they found an initial batch of staff. It was running for a few months before I got involved. Okay, we actually still have one of the staff from that period of time, which is pretty mind blowing. And
what will you do? You're obviously doing the shop, and the shop has its own success, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Yeah. And the roasting, do you find that that's going to be an integral part of obviously supplying yourself, but you're also going to be supplying local people? You supply us, and you're going to push that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's quite a big thing, I think, because it's there are coffee shops popping up everywhere at the moment, and it's that could be a problem, obviously, if you have a physical store, or you can make it a good thing by finding a way to supply them and be a good supplier as well. And then they'll stick around, you build that loyalty with them. And
Joel, how did you get your kind of first customer with the coffee roasting? I mean, your shop would obviously take what you're doing, but then where else have you gone with that? How have you built that sort of funnel of customers up?
So a majority of it at the moment is people who come into the shop buying off the shelves. Right. But we've run a Instagram ad campaign that was relatively successful. So we had a few people that ordered for the first time in that period that are still ordering now. Wholesale wise, it's the first wholesale customer was a business that's like 6 doors down the road, who we were just good friends with, they were excited for us to set it up, and they've been buying ever since, which is great. Okay. It's a wonderful pizza restaurant in the middle of Chelmsford, Moto Pizza.
Oh, Moto Pizza. Yeah, I was in there the other day.
Oh, it's phenomenal.
That is a phenomenal place.
Oh, it's amazing.
I mean, just pivot for a minute. Have you been there, Ollie?
Mate, it is incredible.
I mean, it's like, as much as you can eat pizza, but the atmosphere was great. Yeah. I mean, they've got the model down.
The
staff don't need to learn a lot of stuff. They're just smiley facey bringing bits of pizza. Would you like another
slice?
Pizza?
Put it down.
Another stuff, and it was like really good pizza.
Yeah,
it was great. Yeah. 20 quid a head, 19 something or other. It was really good.
Yeah, they've got Chelmsford, Ipswich, Colchester, and I was just questioning whether Norwich is open yet, but it is.
I think there's four.
Yeah,
and do you supply all of them?
Just Chelmsford at the moment, but I did have a couple of conversation the other day, and I will.
You've got to get into them, haven't you? Get that order in.
Absolutely, just Chelmsford. But I did. I saw Max, the manager, a couple of days ago, and said, "What do you do? What do you do in the other shops?" Yeah. So we'll have a chat, I think, soon.
And what on the retail side? You're obviously retailing it through yours, and can they do that online? Have you pushed to that?
Yeah. So we have got a website, but it's sort of the original Wix website that was built for the cafe. It was built. This is us. This is where we are. Yeah. It isn't necessarily the best e-commerce website you'd ever see. Okay. So we're in the process of moving to Shopify at the moment because subscriptions are massive in coffee. Yeah. People, especially at Christmas, people can buy their friend 12 months worth of coffee beans.
You definitely need to bundle that up and do it through that medium. And there can always be the links back to the shop. Do it the other way round. Yeah. But I mean, I've bought coffee online before in the past and done a trial bundle of different brews and stuff like that they've served. But your shop wise, will you grow more shops? What's your thoughts there?
I think next is probably a mobile option. Yeah. So we've done a couple of the foodies markets in Highlands that are they're incredible events, but we've done it on a table with a coffee machine on it,
Yeah.
and very bad backs by the end of the day. You know, if we could have something that looks a bit nicer, aligns with the brand, that's next, and then we'll have to see after that. I would do another shop, but this is kind of one of those weaknesses of the community thing. Is we've got the same faces every day. So is there a guarantee that if we don't have the exact same team, we can do that again? I think we could, but it's obviously a concern.
I think you can. I think events. You know, I've gone to events where it's an opening of a car or something like that. They have a coffee truck.
Yeah.
And then they've just done a deal with that coffee supplier, unlimited, no charge. They're just on a fixed sort of turn up fee for it. And you see them at film crews. It was a big movie being made up here, but local to us here, and they had 2 coffee trucks there, and they were just on a flat rate for the day, and they were working. I think the mobile thing is, you know, I think with the right contacts, that is big business for you, and you are spreading the brand, and you're, you know, if you're roasting to mouth, you know, that you're getting all the money, aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of, there's not. It's the best sort of margin you can end up with in coffee. The only other margins you can make back are on sort of the other end before roasting, but that's serious challenge.
And how much socials and YouTube and stuff, what are you doing?
Instagram's our big one.
Yeah.
But that is on the agenda, is get YouTube going, get TikTok. Because I can talk about coffee forever. Yeah. It's just I need to actually give myself the platform to do so, you know? Okay.
Because I think that we were talking about it on another pod, and Ollie and I were talking off of camera about what we see the market looking like, and we were talking about personal brand. And you know, back in the day, I was, without Instagram or anything, I was the tree man. Everybody knew me as the tree guy. He's the tree guy. If this is the man who talks about trees and everything to do with trees, because that was my subject back then. You know, you need to be the coffee guy. You need to own that space. And you need to kind of, I believe, do this quicker.
Yes.
Because I think this whole personal brand, you know, meet the people before you buy has to happen. Yeah. But it has to happen quickly because everybody's going to be on that.
100%.
You know, we do it with the wedding venue, and we spoke about it on the pod here before. You know, we push. You need to meet the team to understand why we're a more expensive wedding venue than others, because you have all this pastoral care and love and attention from us, and you can meet the gardener, you can meet front of house, you can meet the team. So I think that's, you know, that for getting bums on seats at the shop, but also getting bags of coffee.
I think for the bags, 1,000,000%, because we do have a more expensive product, as you say. It's like you know, we do a small bag of coffee that's 24 quid, and but there's a reason for that. Yeah. But
and you
that
need to
story needs telling.
Joel, you need to do the storytelling behind that and why it is, and all those cut shots to your roaster, and you picking up the you know, the sacks of beans, or however you can make the thing look sexy. But you know, for local stuff, I think you're in a hard market. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's very busy, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very, very, very busy there in Chelmsford, in the city centre. We're quite, lucky. I don't know if that's the right word, but there's not loads of independent sort of specialty coffee shops. There's a few places that do food and have great coffee, but places that are focused on the brewing and the roasting now as well is quite rare. However, I think if there were more, that would drag more people away from those chains. Yeah, so it increases sort of the awareness of, you know, like, this place is here, we really like this place, but drinks around the corner as well. Like, that's really good, and we don't really have that in town at the minute.
I've got an idea to try and give you a leg up and a fix that I'm going to talk about. Tell me about how do you see it in the future for yourself? Before I say that, what do you see the vision for the next 3 to 4 years? What's in your head? So
for the next 3 to 4 years, it is the roasting growing primarily online. The shop does well enough. I'd say the shop, it could be slightly busier a lot of the time, but the shop, quite happy with that. Don't want to change too much currently, but that events needs exploiting quite dramatically, I think. So that's the big one. Yeah. And then the roasting, if I can grow that, the sales online, because, you know, in terms of the outlay that goes into that versus what we're doing now is not loads. No. It's just one less bag on the shelves at the coffee shop, which obviously will get replaced, going out to someone who's not in Essex. Yeah. And that's quite a big thing, because then if you do find yourself wanting to open another shop, you think, well, we've got a lot of customers ordering beans in Cambridge. Maybe we put a cafe in Cambridge. Yeah. But yeah.
My sort of swervy big idea is that
please.
you do so many more socials.
Yeah.
You do your coffee conversations at the shop.
Yeah.
You use the shoppers as the studio.
Yeah.
And you do it whenever there's customers there. And you talk to customers on the pod. Customer of the week is talking about coffee and what their likes and dislikes and stuff like that. You talk about the industry, the cost of coffee. You do that whole thing, Joel, and you become the coffee guy that is the go-to guy to give your whole. I like it that you've got a shop because that gives your online sales bricks to kick, if you like. Yeah. They can, you want to try a cup, you're more than welcome to come for a cup of coffee and then buy from there. But it gives you credibility. I think for expansion, we don't know what Rachel, bless her, little cotton socks hearts is going to do at the end of this month with her budget.
Yeah.
But rates is punitive at the moment. The VAT punitive tax on hospitality is just a joke.
Yeah.
And you've obviously got part-time staff, full-time staff. That is a killer because of the NI.
Yeah.
So all of those arrows that are being thrown at you. My expansion idea for you would be that you start setting up in other people's shops. So you go to a big hairdresser's and you set up a station and a place there and you trial it. It's a very low barrier to entry for them, for you. And then if it's successful, you then sort out something of more a license or a lease or a way of doing it that you can spread that you're bringing customers to them. You're making a community hub and cuddle for that hairdressers or for that big florists or whatever it might be. I've in London, you go to a place, they are selling clothes and there's a coffee shop.
Yeah, or even all the large office spaces have got coffee bars in, haven't they?
It's in the foyers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And if you could get that down to a model, I was in the our local hospital here at Springfield, and you go in there and there's a Costa, sort of. Not even a shop. It's sort of just
like a kiosky.
It was a kiosky,
thing.
A few cabinets together. There it was. It's Costa written all over it. And I think if they can do that, you can easily do that. Yourself, but with lower costs. And on the estate here, we've got fabricators that make all those trolleys and stuff like that. So there's all that ecosystem that can happen for you. But I believe that would be a soft entry into sweating the equity that you've already got. And the equity you've got is a great story. You've got a great flavoured coffee. You're roasting it yourself and you're passionate about all what you do. Sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to take a moment to let you know about Baddow Park Mastermind. I have created a mastermind for high-level entrepreneurs. There's only 16 spaces and we've only got a few left. If you often find you're the biggest fish in the pond at other masterminds, click the link in the pod description because this might be just for you. Now, back to the pod. How much are you actually working in the business? Are you actually standing on the counter? Are you doing all that as well?
At the moment, yeah. So we do have... it's just been it's our busiest period. And I imagine this is probably my last year of kind of being in there this amount. So hopefully from next year, I've got a little bit more time to, just say, do these other things. We do have a great team over there, a great team, better baristas than I am. But I love it as well, which is the other sort of thing is I'll never completely abandon the shop. I love doing a couple of days in there, but it has been a bit of a struggle since the roastery as well. Kind of just time
between the time.
Just time. But we do have staff that are keen to learn.
And what, Joel, in your working week, what's the bit that you don't like? What's the bit of this entrepreneur sort of gig that that frustrates you?
For me, it would be frustrates me. As in a specific task?
Yeah, I mean, what's the sort of worst thing that you have to deal with? What's that bit that you don't like?
It's looking at the VAT is quite a big one. I say that because that's
a very good answer, by the way. The VAT return.
I did the VAT return last night, so that's fresh on my mind. So that's obviously quite a big thing at the minute. This isn't entrepreneurial answer, but weighing out 250 grams of coffee beans, putting it in a bag and putting a sticker on the bag, all manually at the moment is probably my least favorite individual task.
And you're having to do that because of where you are with what you're doing.
It's just one of those things. I know it's temporary.
I'm sure there is a machine that does it. There's too much money.
Okay. And I know that is probably the next machine we're buying, but for now, that's my least favorite.
But I would like to see, Joel, the coffee guy. I'd like that to come onto my feed. I'd like to see,
it right.
What is going on. And even if you went into the town centre and got people to taste test coffees and stuff like that, and I think there's definitely a viewer for that that would then end up being a chatterbox. You've got to create this virus around you. And I think that's sort of very key for you being more artisan to the rest of the mainstream.
I think what we've done quite well historically is the cafe, like the cafe, but then that's not me, that's the cafe that I'm getting people in the door of, as much as it probably is me when they arrive, or it's the other guys. It's not that kind of personal. It doesn't push me onto that kind of coffee guy level, as you say. It's just like drinks there, Joel's there, brilliant. But I could grow that personal brand, absolutely.
But I think you could, because if you're, the customers will come because of the atmospherics and the tasty coffee and the noise about the venue. I think that's what you've got to create with it. Are you're doing this sort of working for yourself with the other shareholders and stuff? Is it earning money? Are you getting a living out of it? Is it hard? Tell us about that story.
It's tricky. Coffee is quite a difficult world. You've got the coffee prices dictated by an external market. So last year, everyone's coffee's gone up to an all-time high.
Really?
Which hasn't, as sort of our size, didn't affect us as much as it affected some people. But you are dictated by that market. So I ordered 800 kilos of unroasted coffee a couple of days ago. And the email reply was, market's just gone up, but you missed it by a couple of minutes, so we'll honour the original price, which is beautiful stuff.
Thank you very much.
It's those margins that could just change your margin at the end.
Right.
Then you've got staffing, as you mentioned earlier. We've got part-time and full-time staff, so NI is an absolute killer. We've got VAT, which is unfortunately a killer. Coffee beans themselves are 0 rated, which is great. However, cups of coffee are absolutely not, and that is still the bulk of what we do. It's making a living, but it could be better. Since the roastery opened, it is improving, absolutely. We took a loan to buy the roaster to get out the unit. That is paid off now, which is great news, because we did it way ahead of schedule.
Right.
And now we should sort of start to see some growth, and then we can do other things like buying a coffee van is the plan now. But
okay. I mean, I think I take my hat off to you, because you've gone to university to one thing, you've experienced what the course was, and it wasn't really for you. It
just didn't work.
And and I think these whole experiences for people, is there a job at the end of this university trick? And I'm not too sure there is. And with the intervention of AI, I'm sure there isn't. What are we training everybody for? So to do this sort of swing into what you're doing, I think is very smart, because I think that you've now setting your own stall out and not waiting for someone to come and give me some work, please. You're creating it. But I think there's a lot more you could do with the brand.
Absolutely,
and the artisan of it, the localism of it. But definitely go onto Shopify. I mean, that's a great idea.
Sort of pivot across now. The website is built and it looks great, and I'm very excited. So I'm hoping we can now exploit the Christmas period, because it's massive for us, Christmas. It always has been. The shop's busier. Because town's busier, I suppose, and it's cold. Everyone wants to be indoors having a cup of coffee, don't they? But now we've got, for the first year, this big roastery, and we have a product that we're selling. So I'm hoping that Christmas is great. Last year, we opened Christmas Day last year, and that was a massive day for us, which we didn't expect. We expected maybe 1 or 2 people. We'll do it for the people who are maybe on their own or don't have somewhere to be. It was the busiest hour and a half is how long we were open for we've ever had, by a serious margin.
Wow.
We had, I think, 150 cups of coffee in that 90 minutes. It was a serious period of time.
That's extraordinary.
It was amazing. Now we've got people obviously asking about next year.
Okay,
I've had to tell my wife that.
But that alone is a great story.
Oh,
and you need to document all this and get onto, that a little blog or even write about coffee, put that out there. But I think that definitely that personal brand that then links back to what you're doing with the roastery and the shop is going to be fantastic.
I do love coffee, obviously. Like that'd be terrible if I came in here and said I didn't. But hospitality is sort of I feel like the thing that fascinates me more.
Okay.
So I mentioned going to uni, and I went to uni and there were these independent coffee shops, brilliant, but they really looked after people and their customers. And then I came back to Chelmsford and there were sort of coffee shops here and there, or in Essex as a whole at the time, but they were hospitality businesses, but not necessarily hospitality. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then even a month ago, I did the old camper van trip north of Scotland.
Right.
And it was amazing. Coffee shops whenever we could find them, food wherever we could find them. Went onto the Isle of Skye. And as we drove on, went to a coffee shop, brilliant, whatever. 2 days later, came back and she said, "Oh, how was Skye? You were here a couple of days ago. Did you enjoy the island?"
Very good, isn't it? Yeah.
And that'll be the place I order a t-shirt from or a hat from. I'm not... Was it the best cup of coffee? It was up there, but that's the bit I remember. If I'm ever in Skye again, I'm going back to that place.
Yeah.
It was.
I think you're right. I mean, today is a training day here, and we try and do them sort of every month if we can get them in. With how busy we are, this is at the wedding venue, but. It is. You're so right. I mean, it is meet and greet, smiley people.
Yeah.
Shoot the bit of conversation with each other. Find out what's going on in these people's worlds, and
it makes a massive.
It makes a massive difference,
especially for. I mean, we got married 3 years ago now, but it was. We looked around a few venues at the time, and it was the person showing us round.
That's it. Yeah.
They spoke to us, asked how everything was, and that was the big thing that kind of that.
And I think you're right, and people are looking for that experience, and it's an emotion thing. They're not just buying a cup of coffee; they're buying an experience to go in there and those people to serve them, and it's about service. So I think that ultimately is. Who does all the cakes and pastries and stuff? Because when I went in there, I must admit I was into a muffin. I think I had the last time I was in there. It was lovely.
Was it the cinnamon?
Yes.
Oh yeah, they're very popular. Yeah. So that is a company that are actually based in Bristol.
Okay.
They have this network of, their whole thing is cakes for coffee shops. They've done amazingly off of that. They go to all the big coffee festivals, all the big cafe festivals, and they'll have a big spin the wheel and win a free cake. But they're basically the only cake and pastry place. And they have this network of, they bake it, they ship it to you, and it arrives still frozen. It's amazing. So we have them, and they're and every time, next day without fail, it's really phenomenal. Good, And then we've got a couple of local bakers that do sort of cakes and other things that we use. Obviously, as you say, you like to try and use local, but there's no one doing it quite like Cake Smiths have done it. It's amazing. And you go, unfortunately, you sort of, I'd like to say we were first. We were one of the first to stock them, but you walk around anywhere now and it's like, oh, Cake Smiths. And
what in your week and your months around the shop, what's your best thing that you see? What gets you excited?
So I love when people come in and sort of have they'll have a filter coffee, a pour over or something takes us minutes to make of something we've roasted that is really high end, and they love it. That's always a good one, especially if they've not had one before, because those coffees can be divisive. They're not for everyone in any capacity.
And explain what you mean by a pour over.
It's basically a hand brewed coffee. You have a filter paper. It sits on top of a decanter, and you pour the hot water over it. And because there's no pressure involved, it extracts the flavors, but not really the bitterness.
Okay.
So you ended up with that body, or as I say, bitterness. You end up with like a tea-like drink. When you look at a bag of coffee and it says strawberry, melon, and you drink it and think, well, this tastes like coffee, maybe a little bit fruity. If it's brewed like that and it's brewed well, you can taste a lot more of that. So that's always exciting. We do those. We're one of the only places in town that does it. It's a little bit more expensive for the customer, but the same people are coming in, just dealer's choice. Go on, we'll have whatever you've got, whatever's amazing. That's great. But the other day we had a member of staff who's been off for 6 weeks. He had a kid, and then he's from America, went over to America for a bit. And then he walked in. The place was really busy. Everyone's pleased to see him. but also there's people over there talking that wouldn't necessarily meet each other. I looked at the girl I was working with, Lauren, who everyone met earlier. Actually, she's great. I just said, "This place is great, isn't it? This place is just amazing." These guys over there hadn't met before coming in here. This couple over there hadn't met before coming in here, and I absolutely love that.
Yeah.
I think it's brilliant.
It's very good, isn't it? Yeah. I must admit, I'll creep past when there's a wedding going on and just listen.
Oh, it's just amazing, isn't it?
And they're just saying, "Oh, it's amazing, it's wonderful," and you just think, "Yeah, it is."
It is, yeah.
And sometimes I'm too deep in the woods to appreciate it. On
yeah,
some
it's
days.
Nice to have the reminder sometimes.
It's
just nice to sit back and think we're doing something really right here because this is these people's favorite place. If they could choose anywhere to be, they'd choose here right now.
Yeah,
and as much as you're working somewhere or making coffees occasionally, you might think I'd rather be somewhere else.
You're really right. I think that is part of it, and that's a kick for you as the owner as well, isn't it? Yeah. What is the what is the coffee market like? I mean, do we do how many million cups do we do a day? Do you know any of those stats?
I don't know the stats off the top of my head, but I'm sure it's serious coffee. Yeah. It's serious business. Yeah. It's the second most moved commodity globally.
Is it really?
Yeah, which is obviously ridiculous, right? And I'd guess it's probably the most consumed drink nowadays. It was tea, but in the UK, I can only imagine it's coffee. It is everyone. It is.
Tell me about this myth story, or if you've heard it.
Yeah.
What is this Blue Mountain coffee?
Mountain.
Explain that.
Okay.
So how does that work, and why is it the most expensive coffee in the world?
So there's a couple of examples of coffees that were produced somewhere.
Yeah.
And whether it's the terroir or the soil, the altitude, as it is with the Blue Mountains, that make it a very special place to grow coffee.
It's to do with the altitude.
Altitude, sort of a combination of all the things.
Okay.
And it tastes a very specific way. There's a Kona in Hawaii is the same. So anything grown in the Kona region can be sold as that, same as Blue Mountain, but you can't lie about it. That's exactly what it is. And you can get some really good examples of really good coffees. However, that does mean that if you produce a subpar coffee in the Blue Mountains, you can still sell it under that umbrella, that name. Right, so that, I think, is maybe what's happened. You've got Blue Mountain coffees that are incredible, and there's maybe a few kilos in the world every year, and they're really, really expensive. Okay. But also, there are examples that are maybe less amazing.
And what is the what? So what's the thing with the animals then?
So the civet.
Yeah.
So the idea of that.
What is that? Is that like a little?
It's like a cat, a cat-like creature, I think. Yeah. And story goes that they would eat the coffee cherries, and the process of it passing through the cat would digest all of the flesh on the fruit, not in the cat. And so you'd be left with the processed coffee beans ready for roasting and drinking at the end.
Right, okay.
And I think it's the cat's natural microbiome would mean that the coffee had a certain flavour.
See, I thought, the myth that I heard was that it goes through the cat's digestion, and the only reason that the coffee has this super taste is because the cat will only eat the husk at this particular time, and it will only pick the ones that are dead ripe, and then that's the ultimate time to harvest the coffee.
Yes,
but whether the digestion thing,
whether it helps or not,
sounds a bit messy to me.
There was,
but it's fortune. It's like serious money.
Yeah,
isn't
it's serious money. That's seriously expensive coffee. That's up there. There's a few examples of coffee going for crazy money. Right, okay. There's a coffee variety called geisha, which is a type of just a type of the plant, basically a type of the crop, and it tastes really delicate, really floral, and it could be really, really expensive. But geisha produced in Panama is something different. It's called Panama geisha, and one sold at auction recently for, I don't know the exact figure, annoyingly, but I want to say something like $27,000 a pound.
Wow. Okay.
Which I've massively overshot, or as you know,
or do you ever drink it? It must be a thing. No,
you can't, can you? Because it can't live up to. Nothing can live up to that.
No, that's crazy.
Nothing like a whiskey or a wine or a beer.
Well, they end up never drinking the bloody things.
Yeah,
they just become commodities.
Yeah, they're commodities. Yeah. It's an interesting world, though. I really find the parallels between coffee and beer and wine and whiskey. I find that really fascinating.
Yeah. I think the Gen Zs, they're our main customer now that are coming through at the wedding venue. Their attention span, their green credentials that they want to see from us, and how they view community and they have money. You know, I think all of that is relative to your business.
Yeah.
You know, and we are definitely trending towards that. But having, you know, the people that do our socials now, there's not anybody in that company that is older than 24.
Yeah. And they're good socials as well.
And they work hard to make sure that we're doing all the hip and groovy stuff. But I think, you know, I don't run the business; the girls run it for me and with me. But I think it's so important, especially when you're a local fixed brick business, that you make sure that you are paying attention to what the market is looking for and what those needs and trends are.
Yeah.
And are you doing more food offerings? Are you doing?
We do toasties.
Yeah, you do.
Acai bowls, granola bowls.
Right. Okay.
But we're a bit limited on kitchen space.
Right. Okay.
But that does lend itself quite well to it's sort of forced us into this. We are a cafe first, or a coffee shop first.
Yeah.
So it's worked out quite nicely actually with the balance. The issue with the food a lot of the time is that, which is kind of one of the drawbacks of having the community based and the hospitality and the service based coffee shop, is we have to overstaff a lot of the time.
Right. Okay.
Because we need customers are coming in because they started a conversation with someone a little while ago and they want to finish that, and which is great. As I mentioned, it's got so many more positives than it has negatives. Yeah. But you almost need a member of staff just for hosting.
Right. Okay. I'm with you. Yeah.
So at the end of the month, I can look at it and say, well, blimey, that's a large wage bill.
Yeah.
But that is why a lot of people are coming in, and it's just one of those things that we've shot ourselves in the foot a little bit.
The analogy that I say sometimes is that, you know, Baddow Park House here is doing a 5-star service for 3-star money. Yeah. And it kind of feels like that sometimes, doesn't it? Especially when you look at that PAYE comes through and you've got to pay that. If you had your time again, would you do it again, and would you do it in that shop position? Because you're not on the main drag. Yeah. But I've heard some horrendous stories of what the costs are in the town, if you like. Yeah. How do you feel about that on position?
Now I love it.
Okay.
But the first couple of years the first year was a struggle. Then we had lockdown, and we opened up very quickly for takeaway. I think we only had a week or so where we were closed. Okay. Everyone else in town seen that they were closed for months. And that meant that we were all of a sudden the only place to get a takeaway. Right. And in that period, lots of people found us. I don't know whether they would have found us organically otherwise. Right. But so all of a sudden this takeaway service was really busy. That 1 hour free parking outside was big. And we've held on to those people ever since. So I think maybe that period was a strange sort of blessing for us. And now we're tucked out of the way, not paying massive amounts for rent because of where we are. And also we've got the people. So now I'm happy with it. But at the beginning, it was definitely a struggle because even though we're not that far out of town, it's like a 4 or 5 minute walk from the middle of the high street. It seems like it. Yeah. I think maybe because you can drive and pull up, and also you've got to go under a bridge, over a zebra crossing. It definitely feels like you're further out than you are. I think you even cross postcodes. You might go CM1 to CM2.
Yeah, you might do. Yeah, when you are there.
Yeah, but it feel, you know, nowadays it's fine. It's almost the charm of the place, I think.
You have some businesses right on your doorstep.
We do, yes.
And you have the charity, the Salvation Army, their headquarters. Is it headquarters?
Yeah, it's the Citadel. It gets called. It's a big thing. It's beautiful building, and then you've got Zenzi Chinese next door, who are great. Yeah. Then Edit Wellness next door, they moved in when the tattoo shop moved. Right. Okay. And they've brought in a lot of people for us. They're great. We actually had a little pop up in there recently, and it was a good time, even though it was just next door. But it was good. So yeah, we've got a little community of businesses down there, which is, whether that's an effect of us or. And
how do you fit onto, to just do some technical stuff, how do you fit onto the rates there? Do you come underneath it, or do you have to pay
underneath it there?
You come underneath
it there, yeah.
Thank God you do.
Yeah, it's a relief, isn't it?
Because those small, those punitive charges, mate, they would just kill the business.
It's I think that is, if you walk around Chelmsford High Street, there's a real lack of independent businesses. Yeah. And I think that's because the units are just too big.
Yes.
And you do end up over that,
the square
over
footage
the threshold.
Kicks in, doesn't it?
Yeah, and it's just, you know, you've got us where we are. There aren't really any other small units. The viaducts are even quite large. They've built a little community of cool independent businesses down there. But yeah, they're still the bigger units. It must got to be a serious challenge because it does all stack up. It really does.
What do you do away from the business? What do you do for downtime? How do you chill out?
Music.
Okay.
Football. I'm a big football fan.
What side?
West Ham.
West Ham, you're all right with me. That's fine. That's okay. We'll do that. I'm not a big soccer fan, but West Ham's the team that we all supported when we were younger. So
Chumps are born and bred, so West Ham sort of now. And then my parents and their parents, West Ham as well. So it's very much in the blood, unfortunately.
I forgot because you told me earlier. Go towards mum and dad because they did have their own business.
Yeah.
So there was obviously some
there's
seeds,
something
some
entrepreneurial
going on
there
somewhere.
Yeah. So they had their own business many years ago. Sort of the beginning of the e-commerce boom, selling packaging materials, and it did quite well actually. Yeah. I think for a period, mum even stopped her job, which is crazy because she still works way too hard even to this day. Yeah. But it did all right.
Mum and dad support you in their way.
Yeah. They're both great. I mean,
they're worried about their little soldier doing all this entrepreneur stuff.
I can only imagine. I think when you've done it yourself, you do worry probably.
That's it, yeah.
But no, mum's very local. We're very close, and she loves it. Yeah. She's got two coffee machines in her kitchen, me mum.
There you go.
And I think my earliest, I always have this weird if mum was having a coffee at home when I was, I don't know how old, less than 10, I'd want to make it and I'd want to froth the milk up.
There you go.
And there you go. Look at me now.
So there you go.
Mate, flat white after flat white.
I invite you to have a look over my shoulder at my newsletter. If you want to hear about the things that grab my attention each week that could bring you value, sign up in the episode description. Now, back to the pod. Okay, Ollie, where else do you want us to be?
It's Tombola time.
Oh, yeah.
This is fantastic. All right, baby. Oh, one more time. Come on, we've got to get that in again. Have you got the right button?
It's Tombola time.
This is fantastic.
That is very good, yeah.
You've obviously used a lot of technology to get that voice right, haven't you?
Yes.
In your bedroom. Right, so this is the new machine.
This is the new machine.
Did we give Jeff some money for this?
We did give Jeff some money for
we
this.
Did. Thank you, Jeff. Bless his little heart.
Look at that.
So this is all very complicated now because this is a tombola, but we put balls in it because we thought that would be more dramatic if we do this. And it seems quite good, doesn't it? Like that. So this is going to be for our questions. So, Joel, if you'll pick out the first number,
of course,
and then Ollie will give us. Oh dear, it seems quite expensive. It was quite sharp. I cut my finger. What have we got?
Lucky 13.
Lucky 13. Put that in the tray at the bottom. That'll be fine.
Oh, look at that.
So, number 13. What have you got for us?
Right, number 13. How do you differentiate yourself from competitors?
All right, Joel, what do you think?
Very good. The quality of the coffee is quite a big thing. That's sort of what we built the brand on. But then also the community focus of the service. I know I've mentioned it a million times, but opening Christmas Day or opening occasional evenings and sort of, just being ready for that.
And
doing
do
what we can
you do
for
those
people.
little promotion pop-ups?
So we
share that?
we use the sort of 10 and do it a few times a year where people come along and we just open till 8 p.m. Cocktails,
all right, cool.
beers.
Yeah.
We say to everyone, we're going to go to Moto Pizza or somewhere at the end. Yeah. Feel free to join us.
Okay.
And we have we just have fun with it.
And that customer knows a good cup of coffee. They're that savvy.
There's a split. I would say. I'd say we most people have learned. Most people know what they're looking for.
Right.
Most people know if they're ordering the pour overs, they at least know sort of what they're looking for.
Yeah.
But then I say that like I'm putting down milk drinks and putting down. I think they're the real. Yeah, I'm going to say they do.
Yeah, that's good.
Even our decaf drinkers are. They're the real ones.
Are they?
They're the real coffee fans because they're doing it. And it's something old James Hoffman says, who's a coffee guy, but they're the ones that are drinking it purely for the flavour. They're the real guys,
What was the question? Just do it one more time.
How do you differentiate yourself from competitors?
I think Ollie, the one thing you need to do is make sure that there is difference.
Yeah.
And you don't end up as wallpaper. And I think that my real answer to that is it's all about staff. And I've said it many times that staff first, customer second. Everybody always talks about I've always put my customer first. Staff first, community of staff and culture, and then if you do that, then you're going to be different. Because
Yeah.
they can come and get the cup of coffee from anywhere, but they can't get the team.
Yeah.
And it's all about the team that are going to serve you, how you're going to be treated, how you're going to be respected. And I think that is what makes you different. And that's what draws people back.
I mean, if your team are having a laugh behind
Yeah.
the counter, even that creates atmosphere, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
So we've had, hospitality business. Our newest member of staff's been there 3 years, which is amazing. It's something I'm very proud of, because
it's very good, isn't it? Yeah.
we've sort of, we can't necessarily pay people massive amounts of money in a cafe, but we can look after them.
But they're having a career with you, like that, and they're enjoying it. That's
they're
really
looking
good.
after. Lauren coming down earlier to do some training was great. She's incredible at what she does. And then we've got staff who've been there longer than I have. We've got someone who has gone off to uni and sent me a message saying, I'm back for 2 days. Can I have a shift? I miss everyone.
That's right. That's cool.
And
That's really cool. I like
and
that.
of course, the answer is, of course, Frey, come by.
Yeah.
Are you around for Christmas meal? And really proud of that. It's definitely true. That's where the culture comes from. That's where your difference comes from.
I've got a doggy here. What do you want? What have you come to? Have you come to interfere with the podcast?
Can you smell my cats?
Is that what it is? Is that what it is? Well, come on then. You're going to have to come on. You'll come on to camera. Come here. Come up then. And you will come with your big bottom.
Did very well.
Onto
Did
camera.
very well.
Is this what you wanted to do? Did you want to talk to everybody? Did you want to talk to everybody? Well, then you've got to remember this is audio as well as visual, What are you doing, Put? She's been such a good girl. She had such a long walk this morning. What we're going to do, if I do another one, let's go Tom Bowler Tom. What do you think of that, Pud? Do you like that? Let's go into here. This is a lot better, Ollie. We like this. A lot more.
It's a great bit of kit.
It's posh. It's got sort of glitter to it. What are we doing? Ollie, we're number 18. What do you think, Pud? What do you think? Number 18. Question 18, Ollie. What have we got?
Question 18. What is the biggest challenge in your business?
I'll kick off, Joel. What do you think? I would say the biggest challenge at the moment is working on funnels of customers coming in, because I need more customers, because I'm being punitively charged on my turnover taxes.
Yeah.
I know that sounds like a weak answer, but we're having to say, listen, we need to bring more revenue in because we have these taxes to pay.
Yeah.
Whether it's for the NI, whether it's going to be for rates, or whether it's going to be for turnover taxes for VAT. But we need to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's unfortunately a very similar answer for me, I think.
Yeah. It is, yeah.
It's the VAT rate on hospitality is...
and it's not like that. You go to Ireland and it's something like 5%.
Yeah.
Well, it's a lot lower if I've got that wrong or right, but it's a lot lower.
Yeah.
You go to Portugal, it's
I think we're either highest or second highest in Europe, and I think that highest in Europe is probably in Scandinavia. So obviously everything's more expensive to start with.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But it does feel like it gets to a point with that where a lot of these small businesses just will cease to exist, and there's no other way around it, unfortunately.
Okay, right, let's do another. How many do you want to do with these, Ollie?
3.
3? Right, here we go. Right, Joel, you're up.
Yeah, I've got it.
Be careful. It's a bit expensive. You could cut yourself easy. It is. This is a razors. I don't know where this was made.
All right, 19.
19.
Yeah, sticking in the teeth.
How do you create a positive company culture?
Well, you've obviously done it, Joel. So how did you do it? Was it through natural progression, or what did you do?
Natural progression. There was an element of just finding good people and doing everything you can to keep hold of them, I think.
Yeah.
It's really easy in Chelmsford to go and get another hospitality job, to go and, maybe you can we're a coffee shop, we don't take tips really.
Yeah.
Maybe they could go somewhere else and make tips, and then all of a sudden financially they're better off, but it's not the same. We all have a great time. I think that makes a big difference.
I think it's true. I think I definitely agree with you about the money. It's not all about money with people. They want to have somewhere that they go to and they feel like they belong.
Yeah.
I've got staff here work for me for nearly 40 years.
That's amazing.
And they love it. I've got staff that have gone away and come back. That's always because they thought the grass was greener on the other side. I really agree with you that it is. We definitely look at people's abilities and we reward them if they're stepping up and taking more responsibility. But it is about them having. I think, Ollie, as well, the answer to this is that you show respect and care and attention to your staff. And I do lots of consultancy, Joel, for small, medium, and big businesses.
Yeah.
And sometimes you speak to owners, they have no idea what they're doing with their staff.
It's
they just
such
think
a
that
shame,
they're part of a machine that turns up and does stuff.
Yeah.
Well, then you're going to go down the road, mate, because that doesn't work.
Yeah.
They are the backbone of the business. And in a lot of the businesses that I own, I don't run them.
Yeah,
so they run them.
They're literally doing the work, right?
They are it.
Yeah,
and that's it. And I think that makes a big difference.
Yeah, we have. I mean, I'm not normally in the coffee shop loads Monday to Friday. I'll do the weekends, but the weekends are busy, so it's more about the actual speed of service rather than looking after the customers or the ordering or the maintenance, the daily tasks, the day to day. That's what they're doing.
She's dangerous on that table. Right, that was Tom Bowler time. Can we just have the jingle one more time to exit
Please.
To exit.
It's Tombola time.
That is gold.
Very good.
We must have paid a fortune for that to be made.
Yeah, it was expensive.
Worth every penny.
What are we doing?
Right, so our next segment, we don't have a jingle yet, but watch this space.
You did promise me. Have you been busy doing other stuff?
Well, I was talking.
Do you want this off of here now?
Yeah, I think so. It's quite big, isn't it? Well, I was talking to a friend of the show, Mark Creaser, yesterday, and he's given us some advice for a jingle. So, yeah, watch this space.
We're going to see what we can do with that.
But the next segment is what are we reading?
Right. So, Joel, feature number 2. What are we reading?
Okay.
Do you read?
I do read. Not as much as I'd like to be fair.
And
with
what fiction, entrepreneur stuff? What type of thing?
A bit of everything, actually.
Okay.
So if I was going to pick a book that sort of sticks out to me, it's
and in form or audio?
Physical.
Okay, cool.
Have you ever read Unreasonable Hospitality?
No.
Will Guidara. It's very good. It's basically his story of where he started in hospitality to ending up sort of fronting a project of a restaurant in New York that became the best restaurant in the world, voted best restaurant.
Okay.
And it was through massive and ridiculous attention, care, things like hearing a table say, "Oh, we've not got long left, we need to go pay for parking," and then running out and paying for their parking. Little things like that, Right, cool. It's a really, really interesting read, actually.
Say it again, what is it called?
Unreasonable Hospitality.
And by?
Will Guidara.
Okay, we'll put that on the screen so people can see that. I'm not finished it, but I'm halfway through. I am enjoying it, and this is buy back your time, and it's very good. I've been enjoying it. I'm sort of halfway through, and I'll let you know exactly what it's like at the end. But I think definitely worth a listen or a read. It's sort of about how you do delegation in the business.
Right, okay, cool.
And it's probably on a bigger scale than the businesses you're running, but it's interesting.
Yeah.
And his commentary and how he's written it, it's clever. It's clever what he's done. Yeah, I've enjoyed it. That was a recommendation by somebody else from the pod. That was good. Joel, is there any other questions for me while you've got me sat in front of you?
Yeah, I'm sure I can come up with something.
Hit me.
I mean, I often think this sort of looking around this place is, I know obviously it's an impossible question, but how do you manage it all? It's so much.
Well, I think the how do we do it all and juggle all the balls is that I'm very lucky to be able to afford, because of the revenues that are coming in, great team members.
Okay.
And I think that is it, Joel, is it that without them being able to run the businesses, I wouldn't be able to go and look at other businesses to buy, do consultancy, have time away from work and do all the things that I do, make podcasts. So I wouldn't be able to do this if I didn't have people that are fully responsible, they own their departments, they've worked around me for a long time, and we can just plug new stuff into them and they get on with it. Yeah. And they know what the form is, they know what the culture is, they know what the rules are, they know what our morals are, and they do that very well. It takes time. Yeah. It takes a lot of time. And it's, this whole... entrepreneur thing is not a sprint.
No.
You know, it is a marathon, and it comes with people throwing rocks and stones at you while you're jogging along, and you've just got to be able to get better at all that problem solving as you go, and you will get better.
Yeah,
they happen all the time. Every week there's something.
Yeah, there's something to navigate. Yeah. I had as you say, there's always something. Always something. But
I think today it's interesting talking to you and what you're doing there. I think you're an ownerpreneur.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? You're in the business and on the business and looking for new ideas, like you're doing with the roasting. And I'll take my hat off to you. You know, you spent a lot of money. You know, you're a tenant of ours. You're paying rent. You have the machine in there, and you've got to now do the last bit of the journey that we spoke about earlier and maximise how you get that product out. You know, it's no good having all this around you if you're not got that funnel. We've spent so much money on funneling. Yeah. You know, our funnel now is up to sort of $5,000 to $6,000 a month. Yeah. And we're quite happy to pay it because it works. Yeah. But it took at least a year to hone that down with subcontractors, pay per click, to make all of that work, to be comfortable with dropping the money monthly because we could see the ROAS and what we were getting back out of it. Yeah. You know. And I think that's your journey, and definitely look at doing more socials and do that personal brand.
Yeah, I think that's big. That's going to be top of my list. And I think that probably comes from delegating a little bit more of the coffee shop business to then free up some time to kind of do that, because I think that's probably where I've been falling short. Is I plan on I'll do that after work today, I'll do it after work tomorrow, and then it doesn't happen. You know,
you've got to put it into the diary and diary it out that's what you're doing, and you're not available on that day or that afternoon or whatever it is. If people in sunny Chelmsford or anybody visiting sunny Chelmsford wants a proper cup of coffee, where do they go? Sell it, baby.
So Driink Coffee Club, Chelmsford, 39B Badder Road. There's an hour free parking outside, and we'll absolutely look after you. We'll make you the best cup of coffee you've ever had, and maybe send you away with some coffee beans if you're interested.
Very good. That was great. We like that. It was a proper professional advert. We like that. Joel, thank you for your time today.
Thank you very much, my friend.
And thank you, really, from all the team for all your help, because you've really helped us go from, we had a cruddy old silly machine that was useless that we sort of bought secondhand, to finding a really good machine, and you've helped us today with training, and you've helped the girls look after them. So thanks.
It's an absolute pleasure. Okay, it's no problem at all.
Good. If you've enjoyed this episode, like, subscribe, leave a comment. There's someone you know that could gain something from what we do here. Pass the pod. And if I'm lucky, I'll see you on the next one.